We lost 30,000 on our third 3D printing brand that looked perfect on paper but failed completely in reality. And if you are thinking about starting a new 3D printing business, or if you're struggling to understand why your designs aren't selling, this story might save you from the same mistakes we did. But here's the twist. There's actually a company doing almost exactly what we tried to do, and they're crushing it. By the end of this video, you know exactly why they succeeded and we failed. If you're new here, I'm Jan, and we run the most automated 3D print farm in Switzerland. Our goal is to support you make a living from your 3D printing passion. We do that by providing training, tools, and our automatic printing system called FarmLoop. Before I tell you about our $30,000 disaster, let me give you some context. We've built two successful 3D printing brands, Loop for coffee accessories and Loop for bike parts. Both profitable, both growing fast. Combined, we sold more than 18,000 parts and made $500,000 revenue. So when we decided to launch our third brand, we thought we had this all figured out. But there was something different about this brand that would nearly break us. And it took me months to understand what that difference really meant for a 3D printing business. The brand was called Loop, and on paper it seemed like our smartest move yet. We designed and produced unique vases and planters. And here's what we were thinking. Loop and Loop were serving niche markets. Coffee enthusiasts and cyclists with children. Functional products solving specific problems. But what if we could go broader? What if we could create something that appealed to almost everyone? The plan was great, or so we thought. We would create 3D printed planters and vases with unique designs that couldn't be injection molded. We would use all the advantages of additive manufacturing. Complex fins, multicolor designs, innovative self-watering system, features that only 3D printing could achieve. This way we thought we can level up to layer 5 on our farm layer roadmap. If you're not familiar with our farm layer roadmap yet, you can check out a video I made in the past. You can even download the roadmap for free there. Back to the story, and here's where it gets interesting. Something that we have never done before. We hired a talented designer in Switzerland to work part-time on this project. For 6 months, she created stunning designs, built our logo, worked with my co-founder Renan to set up our Etsy and Shopify store. The products looked incredible. The website was beautiful, the branding was on point. A shout out to our designer who now started her own design business on Thanks. I'll link her account below so you can check out her products. They are stunning. We took her designs and made sure that they work with our automatic printing system. This way we can ramp up production for the Christmas season. We launched in October last year, perfectly timed for the Christmas sales. We shot amazing time lapses, created videos for our website and Instagram. We even secured display place in local stores in Winterthur and Zurich. Everything looked perfect from the outside, but we're about to discover that looking perfect and generating sales are two completely different things. We went live with our store, posted our launch video, and immediately started investing $500 monthly on ads. I remember thinking, this is it. This is how we scale beyond the niche markets. The first month, we got some orders, mostly friends and family. But hey, that's normal for a launch, right? The second month, a bit more orders. Third month, sales breakdown during Christmas. But the real wake-up call came when I looked at our conversion rates. Conversion rate is the measure on how many visitors on your store are actually buying something. And what I saw shocked me. Our conversion rate was extremely low, around 0.2%. With our other stores, we are sitting around 2 to 4%, which I would say is a healthy number. On our Loop store, we are getting traffic from our ads. People are visiting the store displays, but they just weren't buying. 3 months in, reality hits hard. We had spent $1,500 on ads, paid our designer over $6,000, bought filament in multiple colors worth $1,000, and our revenue, $2,000. Total, during Christmas season. But the real gut punch came when we had to let our designer go. That's when I knew we had fundamentally misunderstood something about this market. Now here's where this gets even more interesting. A few weeks ago, I reached out to our former designer to get her perspective on what went wrong. And what she told me added another layer to the story that I hadn't fully considered. She mentioned something that really stuck with me, and these are her exact words. I think a mistake we made was to think that it was going to work in such a short period of time. We were coming from two brands that succeeded very quickly, but I think in general that is an exception. She was right. We launched in October and expected results by January. 3 months. For a completely new market with massive competition. With Loop and Loop, we're able to get to 5,000 in revenue within 1 or 2 months. But this is our specialty, functional parts. I actually sat down and created a complete blueprint on exactly how we did that. You can find it in our school community, along with other tools and our automatic printing system. With 3D printed planters and vases, we entered a market where there are already tons of choices. We weren't pioneers, we were just another player in a crowded market. Actually similar to the Flexi Toys market. But that wasn't even our biggest mistake. Our biggest mistake was built into the very foundation of our approach. First, and this is crucial for anyone watching this, we're trying to build a brand around products that were nice to have, instead of products that actually solve problems. There's no pain point to decorative planters. Nobody wakes up thinking, I desperately need a 3D printed vase. Secondly, our beautiful thin designs, they looked incredible, but they required so much material and print time that our cost per vase was going through the roof, even with farm loop. We were pricing ourselves out of a nice to have market just to cover our cost. But here's what really opened my eyes to how wrong we had this. The broad audience, people who aren't already into 3D printing, they don't see 3D printing as a proven manufacturing method, yet. To them, 3D printed means often cheap plastic, not premium home decor. After 6 months, I calculated our total loss. Here are the numbers. $26,000 in salary for 2 part-time people working on this project. $1,000 in material, $3,000 for advertising, so we had totally lost $30,000. In German we say Lehrgeld. It's a fee you pay to learn something. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. There's one store in Zurich, called decorative Studio, that's selling 3D printed vases and lamps successfully. Not just successfully, but so successfully that they opened a physical store in Zurich. I had to understand what they are doing differently, so I reached out to their founder. And what he told me completely changed how I think about decorative 3D printing businesses. First, the target market. They are not trying to sell to everyone. They are selling exclusively to the wealthy, at places where people with serious disposable income gather. Museums, high-end art shows, exclusive events. Second, their positioning. They are not competing on price or even on the fact that it's 3D printed. They are selling luxury items that are produced locally. Scarcity and limited editions instead of mass production and competitive pricing. Third, their design strategy. They don't just 3D print, they combine 3D printing with glass and metal. The 3D printed component is part of a larger premium product. And here's the kicker. Their prices are really high, but their marketing approach was completely different, and that made the difference. So what can you learn from our 30,000 mistake? Let me break down the key lessons that could save you from making the same errors. Lesson number 1. Pain points over pretty designs. Crema Loop works because coffee enthusiasts have specific problems. They need better accessories to get better coffee. Mount Loop works because cyclists need functional bike accessories. Before you start any 3D printing business, ask yourself, what specific pain point does this solve? If your answer is, people want nice things, that's not a pain point, that's a nice to have. Lesson 2. Know your manufacturing advantages. We design products that showcase 3D printing's capabilities. Complex geometries, multicolor, intricate details. But we forgot to ask, do these advantages translate into customer value or just higher cost? Complex doesn't always mean better. Sometimes simple designs can be printed quickly and cheaply, are more profitable than showcase pieces that drain your materials and time. Lesson 3. Market understanding beats product quality. Our products were beautiful. Our branding was professional, our website was polished. But we fundamentally misunderstood our market. The general public doesn't value 3D printing as the way we do. To us, it's amazing technology. To them, it's often seen as inferior to traditional manufacturing. If you're going after a broad market with 3D printed goods, you need to overcome that perception, not ignore it. You need to combine with premium materials. Lesson 4. Niche versus broad. Choose wisely. We wanted to go broad because we thought it meant bigger opportunities and more sales. But niche markets often convert better because pain points are more specific and the value proposition is clearer. The decorative store succeeded by going niche with their target audience. They didn't try to sell to everyone. They became the go-to solution for a very specific, high-value customer segment. But you might be thinking, this is just a failure story. But I see it as an expensive lesson. This failure taught us more about 3D printing businesses than any success would have. We learned the importance of pain point-driven product development, and we learned what marketing can do. Learning is the key word for our sponsor today, Brilliant. Brilliant helps you become a better thinker and problem solver. With thousands of visual interactive lessons in math, science, programming, data analysis, and AI. Learning a little every day is one of the most important things you can do, both for your personal and professional growth. Brilliant keeps you on track to reaching your life goals, one day at a time. For the development of the Farm Loop app, we profited from Brilliant's growing collection of programming courses. It is a great way to build timeless skills to thrive in the evolving world of programming. To learn for free on Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/3dfarmers. Scan the QR code on screen or click the link in the description. Brilliant's also given our viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant. Back to our lessons. If you're watching this thinking about starting a decorative 3D printing business, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying understand what you're getting into. Study what decorative is doing differently. Think luxury, think scarcity, think specific high-value markets. Don't try to compete with mass-produced home decor. Or take the route we are sticking with. Find specific problems that 3D printing can solve faster and better than traditional manufacturing, and build your business around those solutions. If this story helped you avoid a costly mistake, hit that like button and subscribe for more real, unfiltered lessons from our 3D printing journey. Happy failing, 3D farmers!